Thank you. Recently, I found myself looking in the mirror and having a moral dilemma. Me, the aging positively speaker, ex-B, lifelong women's health activist. I write for a magazine called Crone Women Coming of Age, and I was considering consulting plastic surgeons. On my 60th birthday, I put a crown on my head in front of a full-length mirror with dozens of my friends and vowed to celebrate my wrinkles. We didn't want any injections or surgery to make us look younger. We would celebrate our aging. Remove the character from my face? Oh no, no siree, not me. But that was 10 years ago. And recently, these saddlebags have been crawling down my eyelids. And I was told by a friend that if I went to an ophthalmologist and they proved it would interfere with my vision, Medicare would pay for it. How did this happen? Ostensibly, I was consulting plastic surgeons for a repair of a 1.7 centimeter crater on my nose from a basal skin cancer that was removed by a Mohs surgeon dermatologist. I thought, what would it look like if I left the rest, if I consulted him about the eyelid thing at the same time? What would it look like if I left the rest of the wrinkles on my face? I'd be doing it that are noticeable to my friends who know me, and I only do the eyelids. I'm not really doing it to look younger, I'm just better. So I called and made an appointment to see a doctor in Salinas and was put on hold, and my dilemma deepened. As I was put on hold, I was regaled with a lilty voice and this music in the background saying, "Let us show you what breast augmentation of any size will do for your figure. We have a 3D camera that could show you what your particular body sculpting would be like, regardless of gender, age, or ethnicity." My political sensibilities were getting questioned. Then it went on to describe how liposuction can squeeze the fat away and how they can maximize your time and do 2 parts of your body at once. My doctor's specialty was butt reconstruction. One of his assistants told me that she had gotten a free one by him, but that was later. There were laser treatments for unwanted hair and other things that produce collagen, but the final touche on this is still, I'm on hold for 2.5 minutes. Vena skincare products, Botox or rat poison, I presume, to make your skin look forever young. By the time doctors still could see me, the only place he could see me the next day was in the wound center in Salinas, and my sensibilities found a little wounded at that time. And I did finally ask myself when I saw him about these eyelids, and he took a look and he said, "Oh yes," he said, "I could refer you to an optometrist, and if he says so, Medicare and your supplemental will take care of that, easy as that. But you wouldn't want to have that surgery on the same day as your skin cancer removal." So we made an appointment for Monday at 5 o'clock, as soon as I could have this crater fixed, because it was not pretty. And after 18 hours of water and caffeine free, I had a lot of time to think about my moral dilemma. And I also found myself thinking about doctors' names. Dr. Silk was Dr. Jeremy Silk, my plastic surgeon. I wonder, did little Jeremy growing up think he would become a plastic surgeon to make people look forever young? And the anesthesiologist was Dr. Sugar. Did he grow up thinking he would give a spoonful of sugar to make the surgery go down? You know. And then I remembered my husband's proctologist that gave him his first colonoscopy was Dr. Hill. And better than that, the oral dental surgeon that my husband had used that had to shatter his wisdom teeth and extract them in pieces when he was a teenager, his name was Dr. Slaughter. So I had a lot of time to think there, and the surgery itself was 45 minutes only, and Dr. Silk told me afterwards, as I reached up and touched a bandage this big on my nose, that my skin was very flexible. He did a fine job, and I would be happy to come see him in his office the next week. So 2 days post-surgery at home, though, the headache and hunger I had from fasting were gone. But I looked like a raccoon and I felt like one. They only go out at night, don't they? I mean, I had 2 black eyes and gravity was pulling my skin down and my nose hurt. I had to put ice on it. And underneath the bandages that he removed that week, my nose looked like a zipper. And as I drove home, all I could think about was what recovery from a full facelift would be like, or a neck tightening, or an eyebrow tweeze. This wasn't fun. No wonder some of those movie stars and the rich and famous go to the Caribbean or Mexico and combine it with R&R on a beach. You know, this was a little too much hurting face for me. I couldn't postulate whether I'd take that appointment with the optometrist about my sagging eyelids. This was still a quandary for aging feminist me. And it got deeper when I walked into Dr. Silk's office. It looked like a mansion in the Mediterranean somewhere. There were overstuffed leather chairs under a wall of, certificates and medical degrees. And a statue of Athena was rising, 5 foot tall, was rising from a globe in the center of the office. And next to that were pamphlets that read, "Fall back in love with your eyes," with our All About Eyes package. $50 was offered off 220 of essential eye serum. And 24 units of Botox at $240 were being discounted $10 a unit. And a package deal offered a savings of $197. And this was in downtown Salinas. People are raving about Sonic skincare. So it turned out my incision was healing well. And I did schedule a referral for the ophthalmologist because these are enlarged tear ducts. They're not just aging skins. So I made an appointment to see a doctor, not Rosenblum, who wasn't available, a Dr. Nguyen. And I still was having trouble with my moral dilemma of, do I do this or not? Do I really ask for insurance to pay for something that's really cosmetic? For years I'd gotten electrology to permanently remove hairs on my chin and chin. So what's the difference? The jury was still out. My first surprise that Dr. Nguyen was a woman and hardly looked above 30. Smooth skin. She said, oh, these definitely wouldn't interfere with my vision, but that she could do a kind of clockwork RN test and hold my eyes and do the test. I said, no, thank you. As for the tear ducts, she'd never seen them before. She called in her partner, and he said, oh, well, they're not cancerous. They move around. I hadn't even thought of that. But he said, I can refer you to another doctor in Watsonville who's a tear duct specialist. That's Dr. Hakama. At that point, I should go out. And I said, no, thank you very much. And on the way out, I looked in the mirror at me, and I said, I love you, me, and I accept you just the way you are. 69.5, you're not doing bad. Moral dilemma ended.